Oh, see if I can get the glare. Yeah, you got to see me for a moment. The Black Label box for Drunkquest. You can maybe, yeah, the glare's gonna be too bad. I apologize. The only thing you can clearly see is the label there. So let's pop this thing. Now this is an expensive version, if memory serves, of the original game and 90 proof C's, all plastic cards. I'm trying very hard not to maim this thing, as I'd be very annoyed with myself. So I have this because I enjoy the game. I am not going to turn a profit on this thing. I will not be selling this. This is mine or possibly a gift for someone. You can kind of see the Black Label UV right there. Okay, so here is the beast. These are slightly bigger wells than we saw with the kegerator. Those are slightly bigger. Dice are, they pretty much feel like the color's a little different, but that's about it. Rules, these are cleaner. They're not a quad fold, but this is exactly the same size. You'll see the images are a little bit different, as obviously the cards themselves are going to be a little different. Now, this is a mean brick. I will say that much. You hit someone with this, they are going down. You get to see this here. Now, I'm only reason this is not to brag, but you see the 263 of 2000. Well, the only reason I am showing that off, some people have had issues from Ninja Division where their number was in the 15 pluses, and it's supposed to be lower for the backers. I am not in that discussion. I am simply showing that mine is that number, and it works out. So here, as we saw from the kegerator, these fit in just well unsleeved. Very snug, nice little bit of division there. Let's find the characters. There, actually the monsters. These things look excellent. I mean, if you look at the difference, let me see if I can make sure that difference in how the colors kind of pop. The discussion point that some of you may or may not have seen is that these have a canvas core. Now, the reason for that is if you've ever seen an all plastic poker card deck, the colors look a little muted, they look a little flush, but these, everyone says, oh, they're sticky. Well, they're made of a coating. Now, I will say, if I was not told that these were in fact all plastic, I would have not believed you. This feel right here is very slick. Don't get me wrong, it's not that matte finish. What's nice, you can kind of see it right there, it says the Black Label. This does not feel like it is all plastic. I am being told it is all plastic and that I can hold underwater. Well, at some point maybe I'll find a card I care a little less about and I'll give that a shot. But if you look at how well these colors just like really pop. Now, you might argue about this. You can kind of hear it sticks a little bit, but for the most part, if you give a rigorous shuffle, this thing's going to split and be fine. Sorry, I shouldn't say split. Split sounds very negative. Got a little nick there. I'll have to. Oh no, it's not a nick. It's art. Ha ha ha. For those of you who haven't seen 90 proof C's, this is actually 90 proof C's boss. So yes, this has the first expansion and the base game itself. I don't know what the MSRP is on this, because the reality is if they're only making 2,000, I have a feeling that these things in about a year are going to be very hard to come by. You'll see that this actually has the last call picture. The sideways art, the other art you may have seen from some of my other ones. I'm just flipping through that real quick. The green, let me see if I can do a side by side here. The green, as you can kind of see, looks very dark. And personally, I can tell you this is green on camera. It looks a little more black. Red's very clearly red. Blue, which I assume that's what this is. Yes, it is. Blue looks more purpley, more black. Compared to the green, you can see just in the logo, there's a little bit of a difference there. But that is Black Label. Now, realistically, this set, oh, that sound kind of makes me cringe a little bit. What's interesting, I want to show something off, is here. Now, what you may not notice is that this is sideways. Now, this landscape view, I know it's not a big deal. We don't have these in, let me slide this one over, the regular game. The panoramic for this specific card is not there. This art for Beerbrook is different than the art for this one. Technically, I prefer that one. Another one, this is from 90 Proof Seas, so I might be using this set a little bit more. We'll see. I'm a bit of an art snob, I will freely say that. But the colors, I mean, it's one of those things that if you're playing lower light, this is really going to shine. This, and as you can see the light reflect off that from my light above me. So they look, I guess the term, it's going to sound a very odd term, they look a more mature sort of art. And now you're going to say, well, isn't it the same art? And yes, it is. Let me pull out, let's say, a red card. That's a green. Here's a red. Now, here's a red. Here's a red. Much different in the backing. Much larger label. Obviously, this one says Black Label. So, here's your red. Here's your red. Now, look at the background. This large red background, in my opinion, makes the art. If you've ever been a fan of Samurai Jack, I think that's what this art style reminds me of, and I'm not trying to belittle the artist who did this. This art is excellent. That's actually the reason I keep playing this game, is how good the art is. But you see, it's a much, you know, it just makes the character really stand out. Let me see if I can find one of them here. So, for example, here's a boss. It's the boss. You know, this almost looks like an older. Like a vintage sort of poster. I like the art style very much, but just how that stands out just really kind of does it for me. But so this is Black Label. I will, just for the sake of discussion, let me pull out the dice. There we are. If you can see this, this is an olive green. This is much more of a, it's not a forest green. What would you say that is? I just call it green at that point. You may be able to see this. Let me zoom in. By zoom in, I mean I'm actually moving these closer to the camera. Come on. There we go. Just do not want to participate. These are the Black Label. This is more of an orange. This is more of a red. And whether or not you can tell, it's actually a slightly different size symbol. Same size die, don't get me wrong, but the minus is a little bit bigger. Who knows? Maybe you're supposed to drink harder. But that small difference. But this thing being all plastic, I may travel with this. I might not use the box, as I don't think the box, in case there is moisture, is going to do too well. But obviously this means I don't have to sleeve it, which saves in cost, but also is it's gonna be its own thing. So that's that. I may actually frame this. Who knows? Just so I've supported it. So that's Black Label.